Hello.
Hi everybody. So I'm here with the amazing Lisa Wadham. So Lisa and her husband Jason started to build a doTERRA business about 18 months ago, and they both work full time and they've got a very rich, full lifestyle, and they decided to take on doTERRA as well. And we absolutely love having them part of our team. So in the same week as their daughter's wedding on their very own property, they've just hit Premier in doTERRA, which is fantastic, really start of leadership within a doTERRA business. So we are so excited for them. And not only was Lisa out there running lots of classes and enrolling people and doing all the work that's involved in running a doTERRA business, but magically Lisa has enrolled a business, and hearing about how Lisa did that and how she's really helped the business owner to bring new people along, and just so many wonderful things that we're hearing about that. So I just thought I would love to ask you more about that and share your top tips with how you managed to do that. So firstly, congratulations, Lisa.
Thank you very much. Couldn't have done it without you.
Tell us. So what did you do? How did you enroll this business?
Yeah, so it was a bit of an interesting process. The business owner actually contacted us, and when I interviewed him a little bit later, I asked him, how that had all come about. And as it turned out, there were sort of multiple touch points for him choosing us to do business with, which was really exciting. One of those was that we're local, and he was really keen to support the local community. He had a look at our Facebook page. He saw us at the Wellness Expo that we did in Sanford, and he also knew about us through another business contact that he had. So that was pretty cool. So he contacted us, and we responded, and then there was nothing. And we waited, and we contacted him back, and there was still nothing. So it was like, what next? Okay, try a different method. So we did. So we actually had to be quite persistent with getting hold of him to organise the first meeting, which we eventually did because we tracked him down and we made a time. So there you go. You need a bit of persistence sometimes. We had the first meeting, which was where I sort of interviewed him, and I asked him a series of questions. And so the sorts of things I asked him were, what is your vision for your business? Can you describe your client group for me? Who are they? What are their lives like? What do they worry about? What are they interested in? And then I asked him, what are you trying to achieve for your clients? And meanwhile, I'm taking frantic notes as he's sort of chatting to me. I asked him also what he wanted to see, how he wanted our partnership to sort of progress, and what he had in mind for how he thought it would work. So that sort of gave me a bit of a clue as to how I could pitch things at him a little bit later. And what he said was that, he wanted to run some classes, and he wanted his client group to have the ongoing education about lifestyle changes. He wanted them to lead lower tox lives. He wanted them to lead healthier, more well-balanced lives. So that was really fantastic because it aligns perfectly with exactly what we love to do, right? So I love that. So I went away after that meeting feeling very excited, and I put together a bit of a plan, and I talked to him about what his responsibilities would be. And what the plan would include. And that was sort of about the 2 classes, and we actually sorted out the dates for the 2 classes very, very quickly. So that was great. And so his job was to invite people along to that class, and then my job was to sort of get there and do what we do, and excite people and give them heaps of information and let them smell the oils and ask masses of questions. So I sort of developed a bit of a class outline based on the areas that he wanted to focus on. So it was basically an intro, but with a few extra bits thrown in. Plus, they were a very engaged group, so they did actually ask lots and lots of questions throughout the class. So we had about 10 to 12 people come to that first class. And I also gave him some samples so that he could start talking to people and hand them something to try. And it actually was an ice blue rub sachet. So that was fantastic. So I touched base with him about, whether he'd handed out the samples, how we were going for class numbers, etc. And that was all sort of looking really good. So then I had a strategy session with the lovely Tiffany to talk about, how we needed to make sure that we could provide him with the right information to help him make an informed decision. And we talked about the fact that he is a very busy fellow, and he's very much a big picture person. So it needed to be as simple and easy for him as possible. So then I put together a bit of a proposal, which set out some, ideas for him to consider. And they were focused on the areas that he was really interested in, promoting with his client group. But I also provided him an opportunity to what I called spread the love, I think. So spread, the purchase out over a few months, because I knew that he wanted to do some retail as well as do the wholesale sales side of things. So that actually worked brilliantly, because I was able to present him with the proposal, and you're welcome to share that if you like, Alison.
Yeah, I'd love to, if that's okay, because it's fantastic. So I'm just going to share that now. Brilliant. Hopefully that can be seen. So this is what Lisa put together. You want to talk about it really?
Yeah, so it was actually quite challenging because I had absolutely no budget. I had no idea exactly how much, he wanted to order. So I just took kind of a rough guess at what you might do when you're just starting out. And I also thought about how else he could use the product. So you can see on there's an On Guard hand wash and dispenser for the bathroom, because when I used the bathroom, I noticed that they had some commercial stuff, and I thought, right, we can change that. And then a diffuser, which is absolutely essential in that sort of business, absolutely brilliant. So we had a quick discussion about these options, and we talked about the pros and cons of each one. And this was actually just before the first class. We went there quite a bit early, and luckily he was there all by himself. So we sort of got his undivided attention, which was fantastic, because remember I said before that he's a big picture person. So that was brilliant. And he straight away sort of went, okay, I will pretty much base it on what people are really interested in today, but this is what I'm thinking. And he actually decided to go with the spread the love option. So that automatically led into us having an LRP arrangement, which was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
Yeah. So so we had the class, and it was really fantastic success. We had a very excited group. We got some really good enrollments. We booked a class from that class as well. Yay. Yep. So that's happening in September. And so now it's sort of a matter, I guess, of just the follow through. So we've actually got a second class coming up, and in that we're going to do a more focused session, which will be covering the sleep, stress, exercise and recovery. And again, I will talk about lifelong vitality. So I've been, in preparation for that, I've been watching some of the amazing YouTube videos that cover, each of the products and what they're for, and why you would take them, and whether you can take them by themselves or together, or, all of that amazing detail. So I'll be preparing myself really well for that class with, the research, because I think the research is so important. You really need to know what it is that they want for their client group, and then you need to meet that need. So yeah, that's where we're up to.
I love it. I just absolutely love that you went in and asked questions, because that is just, literally feedback. You fed him back as your pitch, as or whatever it is, which makes it so aligned and easy, and a really, that's what it's all about, listening and serving them. So I absolutely love that. Would you be able to tell us a bit about your energy? So I certainly know if I was going to contact a business, I'd feel quite nervous about it. I'd have some feelings about it. So how did you manage that side of it?
Yeah, so I had run a class previously for another business of this type, and I was really nervous for that class. So one of the things that I had to get over was just get over yourself. You're fine. You know this stuff. Don't be so nervous. It's a conversation with some really friendly people. It will be fine. So that was one thing, the bit of self-talk. I also did some tapping, and I did some sort of, deep breathing. And I think just preparing myself well for the kinds of things that I knew that I needed to be, up on as well, which was the sleep and the stress and, those sorts of things, and exercise and talking about lifelong vitality. So the preparation was really, really important. And I just remembered that, this is what I love doing. This is fun. We cooked beautiful hummus thanks to a wonderful recipe. We took chocolates. We knew they'd be an absolute hit. So, even if we'd only had one enrollment or no enrollments, we still had an amazing afternoon. And I think that's how you have to look at it. You're getting out there, you're spreading the love, you're getting the message out there to people, informing them and inspiring them, and, meeting them it was so, so all of that preparation was brilliant because it meant that we had a really great engaged class. I was much more, I think, confident and a little bit more extroverted during that class. I managed to sort of talk to each individual person about what they were after, and still sort of, I don't know, just project out to the group. And it just worked really, really well. The space was fantastic there as well. It's a really lovely, comfy feeling, and they're very much like a family, a little bit like the doTERRA family. So that business group, those clients, they're hugging each other and sitting with their arms around each other and chatting, and you could just see that they really enjoyed being together. And I thought, this is a really great bunch of people. I actually really want to be part of this. So yeah, it was awesome.
So charity making, I love it.
Yeah, and Jace was there too. So, and he was able to interact with a lot of them and connect. So it was actually very much a team effort. It was wonderful.
Oh, beautiful. So what would be your, say, top couple of tips for approaching another business that maybe wasn't the same as that, maybe didn't have the same energy, but just any business that you were thinking of approaching? What would be your, say, mindset and preparation for doing that?
I think you really have to believe that what you can provide them is absolutely amazing, that it's a business partnership. You're not trying to sell them something, you're actually trying to work with them and improve their business, their lives, the lives of their clients. And I think the interview is absolutely key. So you really need to get that down, Pat, and then work with that information. Because that can mean, the difference, I guess, between success and failure, because you really want to target any presentation to exactly what they need.
Yeah, that is just absolutely incredible. I just have to say, we're just so grateful to have you on our team with such expertise, such caring hearts, and having that vision for exactly that. It's just really absolutely beautiful. You are and the absolute epitome of doTERRA. So thank you, and thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us.
You are so welcome.
Okay, thanks, Lisa.
Bye.